Hey everybody, Rodham here for episode 7 of the Extreme Desert Survival series. So last episode we obviously added to our number, hence the name Three's Company. So this episode what I'm going to do is to get Daimon here, the Drifter. Let's get some work priorities for him. He's obviously going to become our doctor. Doesn't mean that Omni can't doctor anymore, but obviously he's not the best one. Omni's no longer going to be the cook. He's not the best cook anymore, and that's good because he did get food poisoning due to cooking incompetence. And then I'm going to take Daimon off of research entirely. So that's the work priorities. I already did the restrictions. What else can I do? I can start to clothe him. What I'm going to do is allow him to craft. That way he can stone cut, because stone cut doesn't really matter skill wise. Whether you're truly able to do it or not has not much of a bearing. And it will be good to have another miner out there. I do have to avoid, of course, getting him to be too hot. He's not really wearing the proper clothing at the moment. So I gotta worry about that. I also really need to figure out sort of space for all these additional pawns. There's obviously a great need for room now that we have so much stuff and people. We expanded pretty rapidly. One of the things I'm curious about is how much of this is overhead mountain and how much of it is not. Whether I can just sort of mine my way into the mountain to save space or not. That's, I guess, my biggest curiosity. Alright, so for the moment, let's go ahead and make whatever blocks he chooses to make. And now Omni's awake, which is good. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is to crank out a set of clothing for Daimon here. So it looks like we're going to need shirt, duster, and pants. Kind of a one with everything here. So, actually no, not duster and pants, sorry. Duster, tribal wear, that's it. Tribal wear is, of course, better insulating. It'll be really nice to have another pawn on hand. Looking at the social, they are just acquaintances with one another. Obviously, Quellalera likes Omni quite a lot. And then, as far as skills go, she is a very capable meleeer and passionate in, you know, some pretty useful skills. I did just get enough skill on Omni to grow some heal root. Oh, no, I don't have enough skill yet. Sorry, one more. I'm not going to worry about grinding out the skill levels. It will come in due time. Let's go ahead and try to get her nice and happy. Okay, he's going to sleep on the ground. That's kind of not what we want. So let's go and get some additional steel. And ideally, I'm going to want bedrooms for them all as fast as I possibly can. Alright, so that's another good bedroom. So she is hopped up on drugs. And I'm going to set his work to clean. before really anything else. Clean and then cook will be his priorities. Try to keep the base tidy. I want to avoid as much food poisoning as possible, so that's one of the sort of shortcut, easy ways to do it. Alright, let's go ahead and force Omni to work again. Alright, so we got the duster, and here's the travel wear. Duster is not the greatest quality, but it will have to do. I think he was at 102 before, already at 130, got up to 142. Obviously that is significantly better, which is good. It's not quite what Omni's at, but I'm not gonna scoff at it. Alright, let's go ahead and lay down the concrete that I was talking about. And some concrete here. Now, the terrain underneath a door doesn't contribute to... Well, let's go and fix this. We obviously don't need to clean out here. I don't want anything to happen to these walls, but the rest of everything else I couldn't care less about, so we'll paint the zones accordingly. Alright. And we're trying to do some recruitment again. So a question I get sort of often is the difference between reduced resistance and recruit. So reduced resistance is the same thing as recruiting without the whole recruiting bit. Reduced resistance is just lowering the resistance remaining without ever trying to recruit. So it's a way to grind your social skills, whereas recruiting, you'll reduce resistance first and then recruit. It's not faster to reduce resistance. It's just a way to separate out those two tasks. So if you have like a terrible pawn that's just sitting around, you can use reduced resistance to train yourself on them, and of course never actually commit to them, I guess is the way to put it. Alright, so it looks like we are getting all tiled up while cloud watching. Let's go and clear some home zones over here too. Obviously, I have a lot of sort of leftover zones from the previous bases, so I might as well clean that up. I want to keep the walls intact because they're kind of important to prevent enemies from shortcutting into my base, but I don't really care about the surrounding areas, so we'll tidy that up a bit. Okay, so we're reading as low food, and that's true. I did just recruit a bunch of new people. Let's go ahead and replace all this with rice. And make sure that Omni actually does it. See, he could have been fast the whole time. Alright, Omni is constructing... It's a trap, so I'll allow it, but then we need to get the rice into the ground. So Damone here has no passion for mining, but isn't terrible at it. Not getting the full yield of steel, but given that we aren't resource starved like we were in Sea Ice, I'm not exactly worried about that. She really has been bedridden, hasn't she? Alright, we will just keep smoking and drinking her up. Trying to make her as happy as possible, so we recruit her as soon as possible. And now this is a barracks. It's slightly impressive, but obviously people don't like to share. So aiming to move out of there ASAP. Speaking of which, let's change Omni's priorities to get research done. Try to get as much research as we can. Microelectronics will be very, very useful. We should get that done as soon as we can. Okay, so she is slowly losing her pain. As you can see, pain is none because she's stoned. Something that we have been working on. I think what I'm going to do is change Damone's priorities to try to get some more blocks cut. I don't really care what blocks. So what I'm going to do is just say any stone. And we'll take to the best. Take 2 blocks. Whatever stone it is, I'm happy to have it. So if we look at the stats of the rooms now, this is sort of just about beauty neutral. This one is a little filthy, but it would be beautiful otherwise. Alright, beauty 1. So if we check the needs, as you can see, neutral beauty here is pretty measurable. If we wanted to beautify it, it would not be that hard. Given that this room is a decent temperature, we'll go ahead and add in a potted plant. And we'll just make it, maybe not silver. We're not that wealthy yet. We'll make it out of marble once we have the marble. Of course, we don't at the moment, but we will. Speaking of marble, there is plenty of it. Let's go and haul some. And with the marble, we can get the inside of this bedroom done, too, which will be equally important. So with that said, I'm just going to have Omni, who's good at manipulation and running around, grab some additional marble while he's up. Oh, and you're getting treated by a proper doctor now. That always has its perks. Alright, so she is about as well taken care of as I am capable. If I'm being honest. And we have some cargo pods. Unfertilized eggs. Alright. We can get behind that. Kind of a long way off, but the ability to make some fine meals would be quite nice, especially given our lack of food at the moment. While we're down here, we might as well haul some additional marble. Never say no to additional resources. Alright, let's try to get a proper bedroom going. She's now fully healed. If we look at her needs, besides the whole naked bit, she's pretty well taken down, and she's not even naked anymore. Let's go ahead and add dusters and cowboy hats to this stockpile here. Where's my headgear? There it is. All right, cowboy hat and duster. And this will allow her to wear a little bit better stuff. So storage, preferred, good. It's only a matter of time till she folds and joins us. Yeah. Camel hide, that's pretty much what we want. Let's go ahead and make another camel hide, actually. There we go. So the camel hide's better than the cloth that Damone is wearing. Because the temperature doesn't really require her to wear anything different, she's not going to pick up the duster just yet. But it's good to have it when she will need it. So there we go, the swap to camel hide. And now, dry lightning landing on my wind turbines. That's cute. Thank you, Cassandra Classic. You are a doll. Oh, and a solar flare. Alright, so for solar flaring, we might as well try to harvest as much as we can. What I'm going to do is put plant cut as Omni's top priority. We really need the crops. Luckily for us, it is not hot enough to really harm us. There we go, and power's back. Could have been worse. Could have been much, much worse. Oh, a solar flare, dry thunderstorm with an aurora. There is a lot going on. Alright, we also want to grow. Let's get that done too. And some additional cargo pods. Funny enough, we already have a bunch of cycloid leaves. Let's make sure that he's not actually holding any... Okay, yeah, he's not holding anything that heavy. Send him out. I'm going to quickly haul all this rice out and give it back. Alright, Omni, let's go ahead and sleep. Yes, I guess you need sleep. Really soon I'll have Damone start working on the additional bedroom. Alright, so instead of cutting from blocks, change that priority to construction. And we're going to need to do a run for some more components. So I'm going to need to find a nearby, I guess this will work. And probably I'll send Omni, he's the better miner. Nothing like a little bit of a psychic drone to make my life a little harder. That's okay, I'm used to it. Alright, Mr. Omni. I'm going to make you dig. I really need to get my trade beacon up and running. Oh, I didn't realize I was so low on food. Gotta be careful about that, because there is only so many components here, and eventually I'll run out. Although this node is not too shabby. Definitely kept him out too long, though. Why aren't we cooking? Alright, forget the simple meals. Let's cook fine meals until we have 10. And we'll unsuspend the Psychite tea. Omni needs to consume a meal. Do you too? Yeah, you do too. Maybe wait until a table's open. I could definitely use another stool. And what can we do for you? You are super hungry. Let's fix the... I keep messing with the priorities. And that's continually my problem. Okay, so we have our beautiful little potted plant thing. We can plant some daylilies there. And what this will do, if you're curious, is the beauty should go up a bit. Maybe reinstall that even closer. Nothing like a little daylilies to lift your spirits. It's not really getting a whole lot of beauty need though. Alright, so we do have a bedroom that is sort of ready to go. I'm going to install, let's do slate tiles in it. Tidying up the prison. Now, slate takes a little bit of time. We're going to want a standing lamp. Okay, we're definitely reducing resistance, which is good news. And then I'm going to toss Omni's bed in there. Yeah, I was trying to think whose bed should it be. Omni's works for me. Okay, so Omni's working on microelectronics. We'll leave him alone. What I'm doing here is I think this room can stay 70 without that door open anymore, whereas we're heading back into winter. Now, unfortunately, this still has a little bit of the disturbed sleep debuffs that I haven't really assuaged or dealt with in any way. Okay, you are getting super hungry again. I've been a very bad warden. We're gonna... work on that. Alright, let's get cooking going again. gonna force him to do some cooking. We're definitely reducing a lot of resistance at a clip here. She's happy despite the fact that I haven't really not been feeding her. There we go. And Mr. Omni, let's get you to grow and plant cut. Actually, what I'll do is I'll set this all to grow. Okay, yeah, that looks about right. Everybody has a good bed. Practicing with howitzers, huh? Some dangerous talk right there. Alright, let's haul this out and turn this back into a prison room. Okay, do until we have... Forget the simple meals for now. We'll just do the psychite tea. Might turn into a yayo operation, turn into a go juice operation at some point, but we're not quite there yet, so I'm not gonna fret about keeping the psychoid leaves intact. All right, Omni, you are mining. Let's get you to research. I'm mostly just doing this to try to whittle down the amount of psychite tea that I have. I don't want to have like a giant amount of it at all the time, you know? That makes sense? The leaves take up a lot more space than the tea does. The tea takes up a quarter of the space. Where are you going? He's going for a walk. Oh, and I have a beautiful blight. At least I have a decent amount of food security. I'm gonna take some wake up with both of them. I think it's important to try to get as much work done as I can. How dirty is this? Yeah, let's go ahead and clean first. Microelectronics are one of the slowest things you can research because you're stuck researching it on a simple research bench, and it's pretty expensive. So it takes a while. Looking at the map, I have not much of a reason to go to any of these talks. I don't really have anyone with good social skills yet either. I'm a bit of a society of barbarians, if I'm being honest. Guess we can turn this off. We're not using it. We're both happy enough to possibly get some wonderful inspirations. Omni is about as happy as he can be. Okay, so the resistance is really coming down. She's gonna join us pretty soon, I think. Okay, and now for some leaves I didn't pick up due to weight, I suppose. I did say I ought to have more stools, but I think what I'll do is I'll wait until I have a fair amount of resources. Ooh, tribespeople. To be able to make them. Alright, so who do we have? Lazy, too smart, be a good melee or a shooter, good with animals, incapable of carrying, neurotic, sanguine, tough. Neurotic and sanguine is somewhat of an odd combo. Depressive, too smart. So we have a lot of smart. If I was to take anyone on, let's see, Omni's 40, Daimone's 47. It might be this unfortunately lazy, but lazy and too smart pawn. I don't know. I might just go ahead and murk them. So I'm not, they're not my top choice. So speaking of murking, the deterioration of a club doesn't really affect its damage. So if we check steel club, 627 DPS, 627 DPS. Obviously, I think the auto pistol is going to be a little bit higher. It depends on whose hands it's in. Ranged. But let's see if that's the best melee weapon. Yeah. It appears that 627 is the number to beat. Yep, so they have the best weapons that they could, given the scenario. Let's go react to this raid. So the first tribes, oh, come on, let me select one. The first tribesman only managed to, or actually managed to get through both. Really? What was this event? Okay, good. It didn't set anything on fire. And instead of having a crazy cliffhanger on this raid, I will end this episode. Oh, now they're fleeing. Right now. That looks to be a good spot. So, thank you all for watching. If you have any feedback for me, ooh, destroyed ear, that's a bummer. Drop me a line if you have any suggestions. Let me know. I read them all. I really do. And I hope that you all tune in next time. And if you're trying this out for yourself, good luck. Adios.